Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Monday, August 7th, and time to do a little Buoy 10 update. Today, the fishing was excellent, and that is obvious because I'm already back at camp, hanging out, already run a few errands, done a few things, and it's barely even 2 o'clock. Fishing was really, really good, and it sounded like everywhere you went, it was good. Whether you were up above the bridge, below the bridge, Oregon side, Washington side, everybody was catching fish. Now, one of the things that I did today was just try and stay away from other boats. I wanted to fish, I call it clean water. Just try not to be behind 300 boats that are on the same depth contour. There's fish in 30 feet of water, there's fish in 50 feet of water. And I'd rather get in front of a fish that has not seen a lure instead of a fish that has seen 50 lures, if not more. So I was several thousand yards away from people most of the day, anytime that I could, and still felt like I was in fish. And there were a couple of points where I was like one of 3 or 4 or 5 boats left in an entire area. I was still marking fish, so what do? We don't leave fish to find fish, right? And it paid off. So yesterday I struggled. Today I really didn't change up much, and we probably had 20 plus goes. We got all of our kings, let a handful go, missed a lot of fish. I got to figure that out again. And it was just a fun day, a straight up fun day. It was great. Couldn't ask for anything better. It seemed like, so the last 2 years, I thought that I really got it figured out. I'm like, okay, I'm really starting to get into a rhythm down here at Buoy 10. And water temperature was a big deal to me for these last 2 years. And this year, I've only been in the river, what, 3 days now? And I'm already throwing it out the window. Kind of just giving up on that, because today on my graph it was about 5 degrees warmer than I normally like the water temperature, and we were crushing them. So maybe stop arguing with the fish and just fish where they are, right? I talked yesterday about developing a pattern. Number one is location. Can't catch fish if you're not around them. It doesn't matter what we think, it matters what they think. And they were on the move, and they were starting to push up river already, and they were in straight up river water. That's where I found them, at least. Meanwhile, I was calling up my buddies who were way down river, and they were absolutely crushing them too. So maybe, just maybe, there's just a ton of fish around. Gee, wouldn't that be nice? Hopefully this keeps up. So because the report is just pretty straightforward, just go fishing. There's just a lot of fish. Wherever you are comfortable fishing, follow them up on the incoming tide, follow them out on the outgo, and just trust your electronics. I get asked that all the time. How do you know where to fish and what to do? If I drop into a spot and the graph doesn't look right and I'm not marking anything, I leave quickly. Don't stick around. Don't try and wait it out. If you're not seeing nets and your graph is looking pretty empty, you're not marking fish, get out of there. You're wasting time, because somewhere there's a pile of thousands of fish. So if you're just marking one here, one there, go up river, go down river, turn left, turn right, do something, because it's not paying off for you right now. But since the report today is kind of short and sweet, I figured I'd go over my little spinner rig that I'm putting behind the Pro Trolls, and basically how to tie it up. So with that, I already pre-built one, because I don't think you guys want to sit here and watch me tie one up for 5 minutes. So I pre-built one. Colors today that worked really well were that guy right there, little red and white blue dot, the Bronco, which I should have brought that one out, and green, straight up green one, worked pretty good too. Dang it, I got them all on the rod, so I'm gonna have to show you guys tomorrow, hopefully after another good day. But this is one that I tied up here real quick. One thing I'm doing on my Broncos, which is brass or copper with red and then a blue dot in the middle, and this I don't know, America Blade. What is it called? I always forget these color names. I should know better. But the red, white, blue dot, there you go, that's easy enough. I am putting a blue bead into the middle as well to add some contrast to it. So that way when the blade is spinning around, I'm getting just a little bit more contrast. And it seems like my green spinner that I was using today and this red, white, and blue one, there it is, Captain America. Yeah, got it. This red, white, and blue one, when I add that little blue bead, whether it's metallic or that light blue that I'm using here on this one, it seems to help a little bit, but I'm getting ahead of myself here a touch. So first and foremost, let's start out with the hook. I run a #2 owner STX 45 or 46, one of the two. It's one of their high carbon steel, and it has it's really light. I think they call it Zoewire or something like that. But this really lightweight helps that lure snap around. The whole purpose of the Pro Troll and spinner or spinfish setup is that the Pro Troll is actually imparting action on the lure. So if you're running really long leaders, it's really not doing anything. You might as well run a triangle. But it's just like kokanee fishing. You get too heavy a lure back there behind the Pro Troll, it kills the action of the Pro Troll, and you're not getting much action out of the lure. So I'm trying to cut weight anywhere that I can. So this guy here is a nice lightweight treble that does not bend hardly ever. And it stays pretty sharp because it's a saltwater hook. It's meant for blue water anglers. From there, I'm running again a 40-pound Maximum Ultra Green. And I usually cut it about 5 feet long to start. And then from there, I knock it down to whatever leader length I'm running. Today, it didn't seem to matter. I had 32-inch leaders. I had 26-inch leaders. I measured one of my best ones at the end of the day, and it was down to 24 because I kept on cutting it off and retying on a brand new hook. That's one of the nice things about running these soft spinners is that you can quickly retie them there on the water when you're in the middle of a good chew, which we have today. Heck, we had 3 doubles today. I didn't have time to sit there and twist wire. I just needed to cut it, tie on a new one, go get it in the water. So what I usually do is I start out by selecting my color pattern that I'm going to run, set all that out, tie on my hook, and then I put a little piece of tubing on it. This is for my hoochie spinners. When I run just no hoochie, I run a little bit longer piece of tubing. But just a little piece of tubing for right now, because all I want it to do is add a little bit of color. Usually on your straight spinners, the tubing will actually help keep everything in line. This guy, I'm more worried about adding a little bit of color than keeping this line straight off the top of the hook, because the tension in the line will do it by itself. So from there, I take my hoochie and slide that on. And what's nice about that tubing is watch what happens when I put this hoochie on there. See if I can get it lined up. I think I got it there. Maybe, maybe. So when I get that hoochie on there, I can slide it over the eyelet, and the eye of the hook will start to flare the hoochie. I think I got it there. And then the tubing too will help act to push all of the skirt, the hoochie tinsel, out away from the body. So it's creating more movement and more action. Again, fishing is a lot up here. I really don't know if that's helping or not, but it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So that is why I do a little piece of tubing for more color, and also to help push out all the little ends of the hoochie skirt to give it more body, more depth, more movement. Then 2 to 3 beads, depending upon what size blade you're running. This one here is a 3.5 willow style, cascade style. And then a little tiny plastic bearing bead. See if I can show that to you. Little guy. Down to my plastic clevis. There are a lot of quick change clevises out there. I personally don't like them anymore. They're great in certain situations, but I just kept losing blades, and that's just too painful. I'll just tie up more leaders. And then again, the size 3.5 multi blade. This is a Yakima Bait product. They make some really good ones. They came out with a ton of new colors that I'm really liking so far this year. So 3.5 blade, and the whole goal, I see guys trying to add stuff on top of clevises. You're just creating more friction. Stop doing that, please. We want this thing to spin freely. And what we also want to make sure of is that we get the bottom of the blade. See if I can hold it up here. There you go. So we're looking to get the bottom of the blade at the top of the eyelet of the hook. So that eyelet of the hook right now is right at the eye of the hoochie. I can see it right here. So it's right at the eye of the hoochie is the top of the hook. I want the bottom of the blade at the top of the eyelet. That's about the right spacing that you're looking for. So when fish comes up and grabs it, get them right there in the corner. If that blade is too low, then the blade's going to get in the way of the hook points. If it's too high, then they might be coming up and hitting towards the blade itself, and you miss them completely with the treble. So that was kind of what was taught to me back when I was a kid, and I've stuck with it. Bottom of the blade at the top of the eyelet of the hook. So from there, pick your leader length, grab a little swivel here, and I put, these are just fish field swivels. I think these are 1/0, and I buy them in bulk, you know, a couple hundred at a time, because what I'm hoping to do once I put it on the board is get it on there, wrap it all up, and then when I'm in the middle of a good bite or need to make a quick change like we had to do a few times today, I can just pull it off the board really fast, unclip the last one, clip on this new one. I already know it's good to go, already has the leader length I need, get in the water, quit screwing around. When it's go time, you got to be prepared for it. If you're not, you're going to miss out on fish. You're going to miss out on opportunities. We got a lot of our fish within the first 30 seconds, not even getting all 6 lines in today. And that was because we stayed on top of the fish. We made quick short laps on them. Once we found them, we stayed on them and quickly got our gear in the water. If you were down for 5 minutes, you missed out on an opportunity or two. And that's just the way this fishery works. It is, again, 6 to 8 hours, fish moving 15, 20 miles. They will move quickly, and you got to be on top of them. If you're not, missed opportunities, and you may not be having as much action as what you're hoping for. So hopefully that helps. Tomorrow maybe I'll show the spinners I work on. I'm kind of curious if the same colors will work. It seemed like first thing this morning, the painted blades, like this one and my green one, gosh, man, my green one is just really doing well in the first hour or two of daylight, and then it just collapses. It falls apart. Oh, that's one other thing that happened here today. We were getting bit on everything but Bronco. Mexican hat was getting bit. Bronco was not. And it was driving me crazy because Bronco's probably one of the most consistent color patterns out here. And I knew the leader lengths were right. I knew the bumper lengths were right because I checked it with the other rods that were getting bit. And so the only other thing that was different is that it was a full UV blade Pro Troll. So I took that off and switched up to a version of a chrome one, put that on there, dumped it in the water, and it never works out this way as a guide, ever. You tell your guys, like, hey, look, that's the only other X factor, so let me make a quick change to your flasher and see if that makes a difference. The very next pass, those 2 rods that had Bronco on it that had not been bit all morning, doubled up. Bam, both rods got bit. It's like, okay, it's not Bronco's fault, it was just the wrong flasher. Got it. Got it. So, pay attention to your electronics, trust what you're seeing there, move quickly, be prepared, and it's the little things that can make the difference between catching fish and not catching fish. Now, why did I not catch fish yesterday? I don't know. But today was my day, so now I'm all full of confidence and going to be all big-headed, and tomorrow I'll come back down to earth. Just the way it works down here. That's why we love this fishery. Okay. I'm going to get to work. I got to type a bunch of these later.